the chatterbait is still underutilized. It's a fantastic triggering bait. I've got these rigged up the way that I like to rig them, and I almost always rig these on a swim bait. These are two of the most effective colors that I use, and one of them is like a bluegill. Okay, it's green pumpkin with a gold blade, and I have a money minnow foxy shad on there. And this one's tail is not dipped, but before I fish this, I dip the tail chartreuse. And many of you have seen the bluegills with their chartreuse tails. This is a bluegill, and it looks like a bluegill, and they bite it like a bluegill. It's a tremendous color for that. The other color that I throw a lot is black and white. Don't know what it looks like. I mean, shad are black and white. I don't know why they bite it so good, but this is a color that fish respond to from coast to coast. Whether it's smallmouth or largemouth, this black and white combo is fantastic. And when I throw it, I almost always throw, this is a Reaction Innovations skinny dipper. You know, it's a 6-inch swim bait, but it's really an effective tool as a trailer on the back of a chatterbait. Always using swim baits. Now when I have an awful lot of shad around, you know, I go to the chartreuse and whites with a silver blade. Makes a nice little shad combination, which for many people is almost a forgotten thing. And I'm looking forward to talking about it. It's the Carolina rig. Anybody Carolina rig? Yeah, about half the class. I remember when we were Carolina rigging lizards, and it was winning every single tournament on the Bassmasters tournament trail. I remember doing that, and we kind of got into a bad rap. The rig got into a bad rap, and it kind of fell off the radar screen for a lot of people, and they're stopping to use it in favor of a drop shot or, you know, some other new, you know, fancy technique. But I'm going to talk a lot about that rig today. That's going to be the focus of my afternoon, is talking about that rig and a few other things, and how the fish have not stopped biting it, guys. It's deadly. It's deadly for a bunch of different reasons. One of the things I love to throw in shallow water is Carolina rig, right? Everybody thinks Carolina rig is a deep water application, ledge fishing, deep water. I'm here to tell you right now, it's a tremendous way to catch fish in shallow water. And the way I lighten up my weight, because you don't need a big heavy weight. I'll go down to 3/8 or half, 3/8, sometimes even a quarter, but mostly about 3/8. And the reason for that is it allows you to make a real long cast, which you need to do sometimes in shallow, clear water. And that Carolina rig allows you to fire it out there real far with that heavier weight, half or 3/8. But what it does is presents your bait weightless. That's the cool part about it. It's a heavy weight, but in actuality, you've got a 4-foot leader tied to a weightless bait. And that's what makes it magic in the shallow water. It's really good for finicky situations when the fish are hard to catch, and especially when you're trying to cover water. It's a really dynamite way to catch fish in the shallows and around that shallow moss, grass. I use it a lot with the bullet weight as my sinker. A lot of barrel sinkers typically associated with Carolina rig. It's a Round Valley tungsten. Round Valley, but of course you know, is that's the reservoir here in New Jersey. But this company is, you know, it's been producing tungsten for a few years, and but I use the bullet sinker. Comes through everything better. You know, comes through the grass, through the trees. You don't hang up. You don't have to go get it. A lot of people use a lot of fancy beads, and I don't know what else they put on there. But I'm simple. I'm simple, especially when I'm in shallow water. I don't want too much racket. So I use a weight and a swivel, and that's it, right? Followed by about a 4-foot leader, and then, you know, to my hook, I use this hook right here. Typically, depending on the bait, I change the aught of the hook. Baby brush hog has got to be one of the all-time best baits to be thrown on a Carolina rig. I'll throw A Senko, quite oftentimes. It's a great tool. And, you know, then I'll throw things like minnow baits, like flukes, dynamite on the back of a Carolina rig in different scenarios. And the old lizard is still a very, very effective weapon. It's fallen out of favor, and I've gone to other things, but you know, lizard's still pretty good. Here's some other big time keys in shallow water. Spinning rod with light braided line. Now I talked about that. I use that on my Senko, and one of the reasons you need that casting distance. You need to be able to cast into the wind. When I'm using my Quiet Killer crankbait, it's windy, the fish are biting, but you just can't cast it into the wind as far as you need to with bait casting gear. But if you put that braided line on there, you can zing them baits right into the wind, you know, a mile. And that's what you need. That's exactly what you need to generate these bites from these real shallow fish. Hey, I'm Gluszek.
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
And this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Gluszek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom,
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really find that sweet spot.
you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.